Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I have 5 plant tips or advice that people give that I don't follow. But before we get into that, I just want to say this week I've reached 100 subscribers and I just want to thank you guys so much. Like, that is just mind-blowing. I'm so happy that I can document my journey with plant care and you guys enjoy watching it. So thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. I'm filming this on Friday and I woke up to 100 subscribers and I was just, that was a very, very nice wake up and I just want to say thank you so much. But also another thing before we get into this video, I just want to say, if you're new here, my name's Emily. If you're not, thank you so much for coming back to another one of my videos. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so I know there's a lot of plant advice out there. These are just 5 that I have written down. I got my notes right here so I don't go off on one of my tangents. And this is going to be a very sit down and just chatty video. So get yourself a drink, a snack. If you want to do plant chores while you're watching this, be my guest. Okay. So the first one I have on here is don't fertilize during winter. I just want to say, we create artificial environments in our home. So if you have a north-facing window and you don't get a lot of sun, you have grow lights. I have an east-facing window, but because I'm in an apartment and there's apartment buildings all around me, I have a bunch of grow lights. So my grow lights are on all winter long. So they're growing all winter long. And during those winter months, while they're still growing, they still need nutrients. Now, depending on the plant and how much it's growing, I'll sometimes dilute my fertilizer just a little bit so that it's not getting too much fertilizer, but it's still getting fertilizer, honey. It's still growing. And typically in the colder winter months, we all turn our heat on, right? So there really isn't a drastic temperature fluctuation to put our plants into dormancy. Now, I will say, if you have giant windows and maybe they're older windows so they're not insulated as much, you can get cold drafts coming in from the windows, and so maybe you want to pull your plants back from the windows a little bit. That could cause the plants, to go into a little bit of dormancy if they're really close to windows, just because of the cold drafts. But the only thing I will say with turning the heat on, it's good because it keeps our plants and us all nice and warm and cozy, but it does drop the humidity. There is a big drop I've seen a big drop in humidity from just now coming into growing season than there was during the winter season, the cold season. But I have humidifiers, so that boosts my humidity, and so it's really not that much of a problem. My hair is annoying me. Okay, The second one, I have my friend here to demonstrate. It's planters with drainage. I don't use them. I do not use pots with drainage, but there is a reason for it. All of my plants are in nursery pots, and then they sit in these pretty little pots with no drainage. So these act as a cache pot. So they catch any extra water when I'm watering from top watering. They'll catch it down below. That way, not only are my plants being top watered, but they're being bottom watered at the same time. Now, if you do this, you have to remember to go around and dump your cache pots like 20 or 30 minutes after you're done watering everything, because they can't be sitting in water. But the reason I do that is I want to make sure my plants take in as much water as they possibly need. So when they're bottom watering, they're taking the water that the roots want. They're not just getting top watered and it's going through all the little holes, air pockets in here, and not getting all of the soil fully saturated. Now, with the soil being fully saturated, it also ensures that my soil doesn't go hydrophobic, because it's always fully saturated versus just top watering. Now, if top watering works for you, great. I'm so happy for you. I just personally don't do it. I do both top and bottom watering. I need a sip. This third one. Only water your plants with filtered or rainwater. So this seems to be a lot of controversy in the plant community, whether to use filtered water, distilled water, only rainwater, or just using tap water. But I think it really depends on your water and your region, but also your plants. I know plants like calatheas, marantas, which marantas are not as picky as calatheas, and like carnivorous plants, they all do best with just distilled water. And all distilled water is it's basically RO water, reverse osmosis. So it doesn't have the chlorine that tap water has. It doesn't have the minerals and salt deposits and stuff that our tap water has, because it's just purely H2O. Now, I don't have any of those plants in my collection, so I'm not as worried about it. I just use tap water for my plants. It's easiest for me, and I don't have the space and the means to be able to just, every time it rains, have a whole bunch of buckets out to catch rainwater. That's just me personally. Now, plants would probably prefer a rainwater flush every now and then, to just flush out the soil from the minerals and salt deposits and things like that we do have in our tap water. But like I said, I don't have the means for that, and so I'm not worried about it personally. I do add silica to my water, and that is known to change the pH a little bit. But if you're worried about that, you can always just go get some pH little tester strips and test your water. I don't think they're that expensive, but I've never had a problem with it. I just make sure that I let the silica kind of disperse and absorb into my water for at least an hour before I add any other fertilizers or additives to my water before I water my plants. If you have a lot of minerals or chlorine or even just like a more acidic pH to your water, there are things you can do to your water to kind of balance that out. I know you can get a pH down, like little drops, and that can artificially bring the pH of your water down to have a more neutral pH level in your water. Or you can just use filtered water. It depends on you and how your plants specifically react to your water in your region. Now for this next one, I have another friend here. Misting your plants. It's a lot of work and it doesn't actually do what you're trying to make it do. It will boost your humidity for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, but that's about it. The water also will sit on the leaves and it can cause fungal issues, it can cause mold, it can cause a lot of things if you do not have enough airflow to dry your leaves off. If you want to boost your humidity, I recommend a humidifier. It will boost your humidity and keep your humidity level a lot more stable than just misting your plants and having water just sit on your leaves and possibly, cause issues with your plants. Now, I have two humidifiers, and they don't run all the time. The main one I use is the Govee humidifier, and it keeps my humidity about 53% in my plant room. Now, my cabinets, they do not have humidifiers in there, but because they are sealed off, they have a naturally higher humidity just because of all the plants in there. But I use my Govee humidifier by my moss poles, and it has been a game changer. The humidifier connects to my phone with Bluetooth. You can turn it on and off and adjust the mist level from your phone through the app. And what makes it even better is it will pair with the Govee hygrometer, and you can actually set what humidity percentage you want in your space. So I have mine set at 53%. When it drops below 53%, the humidifier will kick on by itself. And when it goes above 53%, the humidifier will turn off. Now, I do have both the humidifier and the hygrometer linked down in my description if you want to check them out. But if you don't want to use a humidifier or don't have the means right now to get a humidifier, you can use a pebble tray. Now, all a pebble tray is it's basically like a little container or even just one of the water drip trays. What you do is you can put pebbles or leca or just a bunch of little rocks in that tray and then fill it up with water. Fill it up a little bit with water. And as it evaporates, it will naturally boost your humidity and bring your humidity up a little bit. Now, for my fifth and last advice / tip that I don't follow is dusting your leaves. Yeah, I know. You should definitely be dusting your leaves. I have the things that I need to be able to dust my leaves. I just don't do it. It's really time consuming, and if you have a large collection, do you have hours to spend just dusting your leaves? I don't. Now, there are some exceptions. If I know a plant has pests or a fungal issue or anything like that, I will, use a pesticide or my natural pesticide soap spray mixture thing, or even a fungicide, and I will, dust or wipe the leaves down with that. But I will not actively dust my leaves. When I notice that a plant is starting to have really dirty or dusty leaves, especially, my big plants, I say big, they're not big, they're big to me, but my bigger plants that have the larger leaves, if I notice that they are getting dusty or dirty or anything like that, I throw that baby in the shower and give it a quick spray down. I know. That's what I do. Not only does it clean the leaves, but if there are any pests on it, it washes those off. So what I will do is, just throw the plant in the shower, give it a quick hose down, and then I leave it to drip dry for, a couple hours once it dries a little bit. And while that plant is drying, after the 30 seconds to a minute that I took spraying it off, I'll go and do something else. I can do laundry, dishes. I can water my other plants, There's just so much more that I can get done while it's just sitting in the shower, drip drying for a couple hours than there is that it would take me, the 3 or 4 hours it would take me to dust every single leaf in my collection. Because who has time to dust their plants every week? And if you do, kudos to you. I am so proud of you. I wish I had that dedication, but I do not. I don't have the time. So if you don't either, don't feel bad, because I don't. So just throw those babies in the shower, give it a quick spray down, and continue on with your day, honey. And if you have the time, again, kudos to you. I wish I had your dedication. Okay, guys, that is it for this video. That was just 5 tips / advice that I put up 10 fingers. 5 tips / advice that I do not follow. And some of them maybe I should be, but I don't. Now, if you like this video and if you want to see more, maybe more of these advice and tips that I don't follow, leave me a comment down in the description and let me know. Because if you want to see more of these videos, I'd be more than happy to make them. Like, this was fun. I'm just airing out my dirty laundry, but that's okay. Alright guys, that is it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out and it helps us grow our own little community inside the plant community. I will see you guys in the next one.